We all know that there have been some major benefits created through animal research. Things like the polio vaccine, insulin, tuberculosis medicines. But this is just a drop in the ocean. What about pain? 56%, there is no need for any painkillers because there's just a simple injection. At most, that kind of thing. 37% might have pain, except we use anesthesia to deal with it. And it's only 7% which actually cause the animal pain and that we don't minimize this pain through anesthetics. That's usually when you're testing for anesthesia or you think that such type drugs will affect your experiment.
To test cosmetics, they put harsh chemicals in rabbits' eyes because they don't have any tear ducts to blink it out, and they're left there for up to 3 weeks. However, they do have 2 alternatives, the bovine corneal opacity and permeability assay and the isolated chicken eye assay. They obtain cow and chicken eyes from slaughterhouses and test on those. They also grow skin cultures in petri dishes and test on that. But they don't have any test to see what the respiratory effects of the chemicals are. So they must test on animals to make sure that the toxins don't poison humans.
A commonly misunderstood area because we constantly hear of these alternatives, these magic alternatives that we have that completely could replace animal research. In fact, these methods are all vital for drug development, but they are complementary methods. They are not replacements. They are not alternatives. They are complements. And that it is strictly regulated. The US has one of the highest regulatory standards for animal research, much higher than people have on how they treat their animals at home.
Current policies. On August 24th, 1966, the Animal Welfare Act is passed, requiring the Secretary of Agriculture to regulate the humane care and treatment of dogs, cats, and human-like primates. The Animal Welfare Act does not include rodents or birds, which currently makes up 95% of all animals tested on. However, the Internal Review Board of each facility strictly regulates and must approve of the animal tests being performed. Applications must be submitted for each animal test, and methods used must be demonstrated in detail. Cosmetic bans in the U.S. October 12, 2004, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission no longer requires that cosmetics or household products be tested on animals. Many U.S.-made products have stopped testing their products on animals by using data and findings from previous testing. Cosmetic bans in Europe. The European Union has regulated the testing of cosmetics on animals since 1976 using the Cosmetic Directive. Recently, the EU has taken a huge step in the form of the 7th Amendment to the Directive. The 7th Amendment to the Directive, as of March 11, 2009, has placed a ban on animal testing of cosmetic ingredients or formulations in the EU. Along with the testing ban, the EU instituted a sales ban, also on March 11, 2009, banning the sales of cosmetic products and ingredients tested on animals.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Yes, because the 10 people whose lives are saved could provide beneficial research that would allow those 10 people to become 100 or 1,000 or even so on. And let's say that one of those members is your family or a sibling or a friend, then that would make this procedure okay.
I don't agree. I don't think that it would be worth it to test on 1,000 animals, because think of it another way. What if to save 10 people you had to test on one mentally challenged orphan? Because it's a person and people have individual rights, this would be considered unethical and it wouldn't be worth it even if it was for the good of all people, because you're testing on a human. But when it comes to animals, the assumption is that animals don't have the same rights that humans have, so I don't think it's logical.
Yes, even though their systems are different than ours, animals are still more reliable than, say, a computer test or a simulation and in vitro testing. Besides, before a product can be used on humans, it has to go through testing, and it has to be sufficient enough, with enough evidence to support that the test will be relatively safe before it can be used on an animal or on a human.
I think that there are some seriously overlooked limitations that occur because of animal testing. Most importantly, there are ADRs, which are adverse drug reactions. And yes, medications are designed to save our lives, but when we are costing the general public over $136 billion a year due to adverse drug reactions alone, and this is after an average of $800 million are spent to bring that drug to the market, then yeah, we need to take into consideration that this is probably due to the fact that animals have different physiological and physical systems than humans do.